Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and I'm so grateful again is that you guys are listening and watching and subscribing to my videos or commenting on them, sending me amazing, interesting questions. I literally don't have to do any more research anymore because you guys are sending me so many interesting questions that I've been pondering on and creating videos on that it's basically you guys are doing the work for me, really, and I'm so grateful for that. It really helps me a lot. In this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about a question that Eleanor posed, or something that she was talking about that I thought was interesting. And she was saying, why is it that we come across, INFJs come across as extroverts so often? It's actually really surprising to me. Well, not so much anymore now that I understand myself more and I understand how people perceive me. But in the past, when, because I am a major introvert, you guys probably think I'm an extrovert too, because you think to yourself, how is she doing all these videos when she's an introvert? And introverts usually have a hard time sharing themselves or sharing thoughts with the world or doing this kind of public forum sharing format. I can't believe I'm actually doing it myself either sometimes. Sometimes I do have days where I get up and I'm like, oh shit, do I have to do a video really? Where I don't want to share anything about myself and I want to hide and I don't want to do any of this. But then I do it and then it becomes easier and easier and easier and I like it a lot actually because it teaches me to start off the day not hiding, but sharing myself, which is a really interesting way to start the day for an introvert. But yes, I am an introvert, and I do spend eons and eons by myself. Everyone's always inviting me to things, and I live in a place where I'm surrounded by extroverts. It's actually really, I think I have one introvert friend, but all of the other friends I have are extroverts, which makes sense because extroverts are attracted to introverts, and extroverted people are attracted to INFJs because they want to hang out with us, and because we balance them out, and because, opposites always attract each other. And so all my friends are extroverts and always inviting me to things. And I say no 1,000 times in a week. And they are like, oh, do you want to come here? And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. Do you want to come there? No, I'm sorry, I can't. And so my excuse used to be in the past that, I have to work. But now I realize, I still use that excuse, but now I realize in my head that, no, actually when I go back home after my work, my full-time work, I don't have to do any more work really. I just want to sit by myself in the dark and stare off into space, or I want to read my favorite books, or I want to journal, or I want to just be by myself really. I don't want to be surrounded by people. And that in itself shows me obviously that I'm an introvert because I'm recharging myself by being by myself. I cannot recharge myself when I'm surrounded by people. It drains me. It drains the hell out of me. So again, I do realize and I do believe that I'm an introvert. I know that about myself. But when I do tell people this, and then I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm an introvert. I need to recharge my battery. They look at me like I have two heads, and they think you're an introvert. How are you an introvert? You're not an introvert. You're an extrovert. What the hell are you talking about, right? And I think to myself, God, I don't have to explain this to you again. I'm an introvert. I am. Like, I know I come across as an extrovert. And so when Eleanor said that, why do we come across as extroverts? I started thinking about it. And I realized there are a few factors to it, obviously. But the main thing is that, we are the protectors of the weak and the fighters against the bullies. When we are surrounded by people who are weak, and a lot of times we are because we're strong, we are surrounded by weak people, they will need protection from us. And they will need protection from us against bullies. Because there's so many bullies on this planet for some reason. I think it makes sense because so many people are feeling powerless against all the things that are going on. So they need to kind of get power over other people, other poor people or other people below them. And so that's how they feel like strong and all that stuff. But we see that and we're like, no, I'm not going to just sit back, even though I'm an introvert, even though I don't want to say anything, even though I want to hide. I'm not going to sit back and let this douche, let this person, I shouldn't have said that, let this human being, let this ass say whatever the hell he wants or she wants and bring this other person down. There's no way I'm sitting back and letting that happen, right? And in certain situations, I've said things where I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is my boss. I should perhaps keep my mouth shut. But it's like this force inside of me that says, no, you have to say something because it is important, because you're not an automaton, you're not a robot, and you're not the person who's just sit there and let everything happen to you. And that's one of the reasons I started talking about politics too, because we do that sometimes. We just let it happen to us and then we complain about it after. And I'm like, well, if I don't say anything about it, then I'm not allowed to complain about it. If I don't do something about it, I'm not allowed to complain about it. So let me talk about it. Let me share this stuff that's going on inside of my head and my heart. And so because we do that, we speak up against these people that need our help, need our protection. People think that we're an extrovert. That's one of the factors, I think. Other factor is that, we don't have a hard time talking to strangers because it happens to us so many times. I've told you guys this before that, you will have this happen to you over and over again. You'll be standing in a crowd of people. I mean, you will be surrounded by 1,000 people. And this person will make a beeline for you, like just absolutely straight to you and be like, do you know how I can get to that station? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, all of these people around me, why are you asking me? Like, what is it about my face that kind of attracts people? Or about my eyes or whatever it is. And they'll look straight in my eye, like, do you know how I can get here? Or, do you know anything about this? And I'm like, I don't live here. I'm a tourist myself. So a lot of times I travel a lot, and I'll be traveling in a strange place, and I'm looking at maps and GPSs, and I'm like confused myself. And then this random person will come up to me and say, hey, do you know how to get here? And I'm like, no, I don't live here. But weirdly enough, a lot of times I do know how to get there because I've been roaming around like a crazy person trying to figure out what the city looks like. And I'm like, yeah, I just passed by that. Just back there, that way. And I think to myself, oh my God, how did this happen? In Malaysia, all places where I've never been before, or the Philippines, or Vietnam, or like places like that where I'm like, I don't live here. Like, why are people asking me for directions? Obviously, it happened to me all the time when I was living in Toronto. It happened to me when I traveled in India, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't live here, guys. Please don't. I know that I look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I have no idea what I'm doing. But because this happens to us a lot, we're just used to talking to strangers. And as I said, we are, people will come up to us and ask us questions, and we're like, yeah, cool. And then we'll have a conversation with them, and I usually end up, getting their phone number or like getting their contact information because they're like, you're so cool. I want to hang out with you more. Let's hang out. Like, okay, cool. But also more than that, I'm always kind of looking around to make sure that there are no invisible beings. And I've spoken about this in the previous video as well, that we have this thing inside of us as INFJs to make sure that invisible beings are made visible. So older people, people that are ignored by everyone else, we have this tendency to make them visible. But also I'm always making sure that there's no one who's left behind, people who are just ignored by everyone else because they're perhaps not cool enough or not hip enough or not dressed well enough or rich enough, whatever it might be. There's a billion reasons people ignore each other. And so that's, again, one of my goals, to make sure that I bring them back into the fold over and over again. And that means I have to talk to strangers, which I'm totally fine with because it doesn't matter. I'm doing that for a purpose, right? So that is the reason. But if you kind of put me into a party setting, if you put me in a club and be like, oh, you go talk to strangers now, I'll be like, yeah, no, I don't think so. First of all, I wouldn't go to a club or go to a bar because that's not my scene. But I wouldn't talk to strangers there because I don't really give a shit. There is no purpose there. I'm not going there to pick up people. I don't want to pick up people. I don't want to pick up random strangers just based on the way they're dressed in a random club setting, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So it depends on the situation, of course. But in certain situations, we can absolutely come across as extroverts because we have this tendency to talk to strangers, or strangers have a tendency to talk to us, or we have a tendency to protect the weak, or to fight against the bullies, or to bring invisible beings back, to not leave anyone behind, to just be smiling at everyone. I'll just be walking through a crowd of people and I'll just smile at everyone not because I'm an extrovert, not because I want to talk to them, not because I want to start a conversation with them, but why not? Why not smile when you go through the world rather than frown? So that's something I do, and people will always stop me. It's a weird thing because people will always be like, oh my God, you have such a great smile and you're so happy. How do you stay so happy? And how do you keep your energy up? Blah, blah, blah. And they'll always be asking me questions. And I think to myself, okay, in my head, I'm thinking, oh shit, I didn't do this because I wanted to have a conversation, but I obviously always have that conversation because I'm not gonna be like, well, figure it out yourself, kind of thing. I would never say that. But it is the truth of our nature is that a lot of us will come across as extroverts. I always do. I know that. And even though I'm a major introvert, not that I need days and days to recuperate from people, but I do need at least like 15-20. So once I leave work around 6 or 5 or 6 p.m. until the next morning around 10 a.m., I am in my room by myself, not talking to anyone. If I have to talk to someone, it's really like I'm really pulling from my energy reserves. I'm really, really hating it, right? And so I spend a lot of time by myself in order to recuperate. Now, some introverts need more time to recuperate. Some of you guys need weeks to recuperate from a social interaction. Some of you guys need less time to recuperate. But the whole point is that we recharge by being by ourselves. We don't recharge in the company of others as extroverts do. Right? So that is the major difference, and that's how you can tell that INFJs are not extroverts. even though we might come across as one. Okay? Again, I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope I've been able to explain myself to you guys as I intended. It's kind of sometimes difficult. I'm thinking in my head that I'm going to say all these things, and when it comes down to it, I forget. I'm like, no, I didn't say that. Oh, I didn't say that. Well, hopefully I did convey my ideas to you, and hopefully it made sense to you. And if you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. If you can comment below, or you can message me directly, privately, by checking out my email address or my Facebook. It's all in the description below. Okay, all my contact information, so you can get at me in so many different ways, and I will always reply back. Always, always, always. People are always surprised that I do, but I promise. I promise. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. I always reply to everyone who messages me. Okay. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.